Good evening once again. We are back here on the Sam Morgan Show. I am your host, Sam Morgan. This is episode 6. It is Saturday, and by the time this is uploaded, you will see that episode 5 is already uploaded, so make sure you go watch that episode. It is a pretty good one. Short little episode, though. Um, yeah, so I want to preface today's episode by giving a warning of cuts. I usually cut the beginning of the video to make sure that I say hi and intro like directly at the beginning, and I make sure that I conclude directly at the end. There's no dead space at the beginning of the end. Otherwise, there's no cuts. And there might be cuts today because I have something that might interrupt me, and it's pretty important. So, just wanted to preface by saying that. So, this is the second episode of this weekend. We're getting back on track. Um, yeah, so we're ready to mingle. First thing you want to talk about? This don't look like a real podcast setup, do it? I mean, the background's cool. Just chilling in the basement, the surfboard, all the stuff on the wall. And when it's me with a guest, you see the whole wall. When it's just me, you see this part. But I'm really talking about this because this is an old poker table, which I actually think is pretty cool. But it's just me and my computer and my little button to start the camera. So I actually have had these for a while, but I haven't actually invested the time into making the setup work. And so I do have these, which I don't know, you've probably seen if I posted some reels on my um, just personal accounts and things like that. So I have mics. This is one. I have another one that aren't these little tiny mics here. And I am going to be trying to get those set up for tomorrow's episode. Otherwise, we're going to stick with these for now. So, not a huge deal, but just something I wanted to mention. We are trying to upgrade the quality, uh, you know, little by little here because, revenue is an important thing, and we're not to that stage yet. So, I just wanted to mention those. First thing I want to talk about kind of goes off what I talked about yesterday, and there's a couple things that kind of piggyback off of yesterday's confidence talkings, but I wanted to mention this one first because it's probably actually it like is most definitely, in my opinion, what caused me to be reported to my coach and athletic director, which is me wearing my university gear on videos and on reels and things that I post. So I just wanted to say I'm not going to stop. People have told me, maybe you should stop. I said, maybe, but I'm not going to. This is my university. I represent it. If people want to hate on me and figure that out and contact people in my school to try to make my life worse, they can go all for it. So, um, yeah, just wanted to add that in there real quick. And that's kind of gonna be what I talk about today. Not necessarily um, that controversy, but just talk about my university in general. I go to Park University, and I'm on the volleyball team, as you probably have heard me talk about already. So I wanted to talk about two different aspects today, which we might talk about in tomorrow's episode as a little bit too. But I really wanted to focus on it a little bit more today because it seemed like a good time to talk about it. Uh, it was pretty nice actually. So we only have one team. Some universities have like a first team and then like a backup team that's just reserve players that the games are just like whatever, they don't really matter as much. And so we don't have that. We only have two teams, or we only have one team, excuse me. And there's 21 guys, so there's a lot of guys that don't get to go in. At least there's a lot of guys that don't get to go in very often. Me being one of those, we're really good. We're top three, and not to boast, but I do want to just tell you what is actually happening. So we are right now ranked in the coaches polls top 3 in the nation, um, for the NAIA division. And I believe after today's win, we were 10-0. We just went to Missouri Valley today and beat them in 4 sets. So it was pretty hype, pretty awesome. Otherwise, I've got into one game. I have a kill. I got a kill. I'm supposed to be a libero, but I got a kill. I played outside, and I got an ace. So those are my highlights of the season so far, other than practice highlights, which if you follow me on TikTok, Instagram, you've seen me post some of those. But that is just kind of a little bit of a rundown. I think it is pretty remarkable that we are undefeated still. And after today's win against Missouri Valley, which is a conference opponent, I was told that we have control over the conference. And that's pretty high stakes. That means unless Missouri Valley comes to our gym, because we just went to their place 2 hours away, if they come to our place and beat us, that's the only way they could have control. So we are in a good spot so far for how postseason is looking. And then the bigger thing that I wanted to talk about in this episode was the switch from having, actually, I would say all American teammates, in the sense not that they're like all Americans, like they're super good at the sport, just like they're from America, and having almost no American teammates in college. My club team, for as long as I've been on a club team, which is since I've been 12 maybe years old, something around there, and I'm 19 now, so 7 years, 6 years of playing club. I don't think I had a teammate that wasn't from America, or at least wasn't an American citizen. And high school ball didn't ever have any foreign teammates. And now in college, it's me, one American, and another American. 2 out of 21 are American. Now, we're not the minority because we have an Algerian on the team, so he's actually the minority, I believe. But, we have a ton of different nationalities on our team. And so this actually can kind of go with the reporting post, because people wanted to call me racist and call my volleyball program racist. But we have so many different nationalities. We have Italians, we have Serbians, we have Montenegro guy. I don't know what you call him. We have, like I said, an Algerian. We have Brazilians. We have an Argentinian. So we are a very diverse group of teammates, a very diverse group of people. Mexicans, Dominican Republic. We have, all sorts of different. Don't mind the AC just kicking on. All sorts of different nationalities on the team, and it's such a switch up from what I'm used to, but it's not a bad switch up because it helps me kind of get out of my bubble a little bit more. And I'll explain that. So, high school, club ball, you get to know these guys. Like high school, we practice 5 days a week. You get to know these guys, you go to school with them. You're not necessarily in the same classes, but you're around them more because, you're walking around the same building all day. Club, 2-3 practices a week, tournaments on the weekends. You're seeing these guys frequently, but these guys are like your friends, but they're not like super close friends, unless you're doing stuff outside of that with them as well. And so, I get to know these guys, but we're not really much different from each other in the same sense that I'm a lot different from the Italian guys, that are different from the Serbian guys, that are different from the Brazilians, that are, we're all different at this college level. And it's really, I think it's definitely changed how I've started to like think about people. because you see their perspectives, like definitely more than I did before. And so, you know, you'll be sitting there trying to have a conversation. Like, you go up to your buddy from high school. I'll go up to my buddy from high school and we just start having a conversation where I understand exactly what we say. But I go and start having a conversation with one of my Brazilian teammates, barely understands anything that I say in English. And then he starts talking to one of the other Brazilians in Portuguese. And I'm like, what did he just say? Like, I don't know. So the communication is definitely a different loop. You gotta really get to, like, you have to understand the person more than just being able to talk to them. Like, you have to be able to read what they're thinking without them being able to say it. Which, now that I say that, kind of sounds like having a girlfriend, but those things are crazy. Chill though. That's not for real though. We're not gonna go down the women route today, but yeah, the international teammates. I've grown to love being around them. They're definitely all there's a pretty big variety, and I'm very grateful for that. Actually, I'm very grateful for um, God putting me in that position, that I'm able to be surrounded with such talented players, but also people that are different from me, because it's just helped me out a ton, I think. Otherwise, I don't have much else to say in this episode. I will conclude with a couple Bible verses, and I'm going to conclude here with the hint of one thing, which is we do have a guest. I have a guest planned for tomorrow's podcast, and he's one of my closer friends now. I think it's going to be pretty fun. I've been waiting to have him on. I've been asking and asking, and I think it's going to be really good. So you guys will see that tomorrow. Here's the two Bible verses. I have one which is new to this episode, and one which is the one I'm still memorizing, which was in last episode. If you didn't go watch that, by the way, go watch it. The first one, which is the one I'm trying to memorize from yesterday's video as well, is Proverbs chapter 9, verse 10. This is from the NLT version of the Bible. That's the version I read. And the verse goes like this: Fear of the Lord is the foundation of wisdom. Knowledge of the Holy One results in good judgment. And so, Marcos, if you're watching this, I'm getting that memorized, baby. All right. The other one that I would like to memorize as well, but I do not have it memorized yet, is also from the NLT version. It is Romans chapter 12, verse 21. It goes as such: Don't let evil conquer you, but conquer evil by doing good. And I don't remember, but I probably broke down a little bit what I thought about Proverbs 9:10 yesterday. But I think these are two really good verses. And yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. If you did, leave a like, comment, subscribe. And this has been episode 6 of The Sam Morgan Show. I am Sam Morgan, your host. Thanks for watching. Bye.